The award we got from STARS Foundation has made this organization very, very strong. STARS Foundation for this NGO is a friend.
The STARS Foundation was founded by Ahmed Dabbar and the Dabbar Group in 2001 to improve the lives of the world's children. One of the things that came across really clearly from our funding relationships early on was this strain being placed on organisations working on the ground, delivering fantastic services, but really constrained by the funding mechanisms and the funding restrictions that were being placed on them. Seeing those kinds of things made us realise that there was a real need for much more flexible and much more responsive funding, and that's what the STARS Impact Awards is all about.
There was a crisis within the organization. The building which housed the night care center collapsed. Very often you get funding, but it's very structured. But with STAR Foundation's unrestricted funding, when you have these kind of crises, that kind of money in your bank gives you that much needed security which you need today when you run an organization like the one that we are running.
Circumstances change, and they change very quickly on the ground. What makes STARS different is that we adopt a very flexible approach to our funding and all the support that we offer, and we are led by those organisations and their needs. Our view is that if they are delivering a fabulous service and they are well run, our interest is in allowing them to decide how best to use their funding and the support we give them.
It is not easy to find fund that is unrestricted and we can use according to our need. We have set up fundraising department. The STAR has given us a platform that will help us to achieve the sustainability.
Since launching the STARS Impact Awards in 2007, we've worked very closely with PricewaterhouseCoopers on refining the selection process for award recipients. The key aspects that we look at are really twofold. We're looking at impact, and how do we know that these organisations are achieving positive impact? How do they measure that? And then the second part is the organisation itself. How is it being run? How do we know that it's effective in its setup? A very important part of the STARS assessment process is the visit that we undertake. So in a sense, we front load our research and our assessment so that once we are awarding, we can adopt a more hands-off approach while working very closely in partnership with the organisation.
After receiving the awards, they call and they also send us mails, all based on deepening the relationship. So it's not like they just give you the money and that ends it. There's a constant dialogue and there's a constant relationship between us and the STARS Awards office.
The other difference with our application form is that it's actually almost like a self-evaluation process. A lot of organisations have told us that they've found going through writing the application form really helpful.
The longer-term benefits of a STARS Award lies in the application process, because the STARS Award application process makes you look within and see into the systems, the governance structure, the finance structure, the mechanisms to become stronger within. And then if you succeed in STARS Award, that is the bonus.
Each award recipient receives an interesting package of support from the STARS Foundation. The first part of that is $100,000 of unrestricted funding. The second part is access to consultancy support that allows them to invest in organisational strengthening, access to training, all kinds of support that they need for the organisation itself. The third part is access to media benefits to help them raise their profile and maximise the benefit of having received the award.
The STARS Awards has opened a new chapter to SAFE as an organisation. Apart from the funds, they give you some consultancy support. We got exposure from media. We were all over the newspapers, and this opened a new window of funding for our organisation.
The STARS Impact Awards currently operate in 80 countries across 2 regions, Africa, Middle East and Asia Pacific. We know that we have a model that works, and we know that it allows us to identify truly exceptional organisations, local organisations working on the ground with children. Our aim now is to expand into a further region, so Latin America, Caribbean. We are interested in building solid partnerships with other funders, think tanks, universities that share our vision, that are interested in innovating a new way of funding and of supporting these organisations that are really at the cutting edge of improving children's lives.
When people ask me unrestricted funding doesn't make a difference to organizations, I just laugh at them, because the difference STARS Award Fund has made to us is huge, is tremendous, because unrestricted funding helped us to support things which we could have never been able to support otherwise.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the whole team at the STARS Foundation, I'd like to welcome you very, very warmly on this bitterly cold evening, and I'd like to thank you for being with us tonight to celebrate the work of our 2010 STARS Impact Award recipients. I'm so happy to see so many familiar faces in the room tonight for our 4th award ceremony. Those of you who were here last year will recognise our 2009 award recipients who were just on the opening film, all of whom have gone from strength to strength, and some of whom are with us here this evening. This evening, it's the turn of our 2010 award recipients. They've been selected for both the quality of their work with children and the way in which they deliver it. As always, our recipients are working in extremely challenging circumstances, as you will see. But they all demonstrate strengths in innovation, in flexibility, and in a responsiveness to local needs that truly makes them stand out. Many of them share a commitment to partnership and networking, which enables them to reach the most marginalized children. These children would go unseen and unheard were it not for the work of these organizations. Against a backdrop of failing Millennium Development Goals, debates around aid effectiveness, and a very challenging economic environment, tonight demonstrates what can be achieved to help vulnerable children. And we are committed to sharing what we learn as we continue to grow. Earlier this year, we published our first report with New Philanthropy Capital entitled Recognizing Excellence, which examines the case for unrestricted funding. Our focus now is on how we can replicate some of the valuable insight and the effective practice that comes from the ground, and in particular from our award recipients. This is something we will be talking to you about a lot over the coming year. However, back to tonight. I'm now going to hand over to my programs team, who visited each of the organizations that you are going to meet tonight earlier this year as part of our assessment process. So I'm going to hand over to Vicky People, who is going to introduce this year's recipients to you from the Africa Middle East region.
Thank you, Muna. This year we received an astonishing 501 applications from 38 countries across the Africa Middle East region. In addition to our 3 impact awards in the categories of health, education and protection, this year we are also awarding a discretionary award of a Rising Star for an impressive younger organisation that shows promise and potential in its continued growth and development. Before I invite our 2010 Africa recipients to receive their award, let's take a look at their work.
ACE Africa addresses problems of high poverty levels, high infection rates from HIV. We give empowering education to community groups. Basically, we focus on the orphan, but the orphan is a product of the society. The number for children affected by HIV in Bungoma is 11% of the population. That is why our engagement with youth groups, we engage them so that as a group they can receive education. That education can be the difference between getting HIV and not getting it. We also have got child-to-child programs within the schools. The child-to-child clubs are styled so that they can encourage children to participate in health by improving their health-seeking behavior. Now, when we go to the household level, you find that most times we are tackling issues to do with lack of food or lack of proper nutrition. So we seek to address that through encouraging kitchen gardens, group gardens, big gardens that they can use to support children who are orphaned within that area. In many cases, the local health facilities would not have medicines or some medical supplies. So we have an arrangement with them whereby we make these supplies, then we send our clients there for proper prescription and to be given the medicine. ACE Africa has been able to reach 56,000, at least in 2009. Most times these children do not know where to go, or they do not have a voice. So we provide that voice. So that is the purpose for which we exist.
I work for Africa Educational Trust, AET for short, in Somaliland. Our organization is an educational organization. Most of the population of this country is illiterate. 80% or 75% of our school-age children are not attending schools. If you compare Somalia or Somaliland with the rest of Africa, we are lagging behind. We try to help by delivering literacy courses and small skill training kind of interventions. We deal with the most disadvantaged groups like IDP people, disabled children, like nomadic children. For the last 10 years, we have been operational in Somaliland. We have enabled more than 100,000 to read and write. Through literacy, you can do a lot of things. It helps you to correct the cycle. So that is actually our hope.
Childline Kenya is an organization, a national NGO that was started in 2006 to promote the rights of children and enhance protection of children against violence. What we do is that we run a 24-hour child helpline, which is staffed with counselors. Thank you for calling Child Helpline. We receive calls from children from all over the country. In one day, we receive between 500 and 600 recorded calls. About half of those will be counseling cases. We work with different partners, and this is a very critical part of our work. The helpline cannot run effectively without a proper response mechanism, and that requires that we have referral partners who are well aware of what the helpline does, who are committed to child protection and child rights issues like we are. There are different ways that we inform people about the number and the service. Sometimes we run advertisements and press releases and publicize the number. Sometimes we'll do road shows, drive from different towns, distribute materials, have competitions. We have a wheel challenge game, and they will tell us about their knowledge on child rights.
What does a child's right to have say mean?
We deal with a number of children's homes because they are a vital part of our work. And this is because sometimes some children who are in an abusive situation may need to be removed from home and put the child in a place that is safe, that they can continue to receive counseling while a social worker is dealing with their matter or dealing with the parents at home. There are various challenges, but we are happy that at least we are making a difference in the lives of many children in this country.
Home from Home looks after many vulnerable children. Children may have been orphaned, abandoned, neglected, and they are referred to Home from Home, and then we place them in our various foster homes. Daily we get telephone calls to look after children that may have been abused or left alone, and frequently we get children that have come into our care, sometimes very, very sick. One little boy came down from the Eastern Cape, which is quite a long way from Cape Town. He was dying, very, very sick, and he was placed in with one of our foster mothers, and now he's a bubbly, lively, wonderful 17-year-old. And there are many more stories of children that need help and that we're able to look after. One of the biggest challenges facing Home from Home is finding the right foster mothers. Finding somebody who can really care for the children and will look after them as if they're own. Obviously we need the financial resources to set up the home and run the homes, but we also need the staff and the right people to make sure, because the most important thing we can offer the children is love and very good care and safety. We do believe very strongly that the model of care we're providing is a very good alternative for children. It's hugely important that children are safe and brought up in as normal a home as possible. So I think that's it, just keep trying to provide the best care we can for vulnerable children.
To present the trophies tonight, I would like to welcome Mr. Mohammed Jazeel, one of our trustees and the CEO of the Dabar Group, our founding donor. The 2010 Impact Award for Health goes to ACE Africa Kenya. On behalf of the organisation, we welcome Augustine Wasonga. The 2010 Impact Award for Education goes to AET Somaliland. On behalf of the organisation, we welcome Hassan Ibrahim. The 2010 photo opportunity. The 2010 Impact Award for Protection goes to Childline Kenya. On behalf of the organisation, we welcome Irene Nyamu. The 2010 Rising Star Award goes to Home from Home Trust in South Africa. On behalf of the organisation, we welcome Pippa Shaper. Thank you, Mr. Jazeel. Thank you. As you arrive downstairs, I hope you will have seen some of the beautiful photographs of the work of our award recipients. To tell you more about what they do and the context of their work, each recipient has chosen a photograph from the exhibition. Augustine, when we were with you in Bungoma earlier this year, I was struck by the emphasis ACE has placed on building people's capacity locally to provide for themselves and the vulnerable in their communities. Can you tell us a bit about how this is demonstrated in this photo?
Yes, the boy on the photo is called Brian. He's from a village in Bungoma called Bulondo. We met the boy 9 months ago when he was sickly. He was not going to school. The father had died and the mother was bedridden. So we took action through our community health workers and first of all made sure that we gave him food for immediate use. But we thought that that was not enough. So we made sure that he could get food that he could grow for the whole of the family and rely on himself. So that is why we negotiated for a plot from the neighbor, which is using to grow his food. We gave him an irrigation kit. We counseled him. We made sure that the mother also was taken to hospital, and the mother is now not bedridden. The mother is on drugs. And Brian is going to school. He's no longer begging. And, you know, he's happy, and the family is happy. And that is the joy for which we work when children like that improve. There are many cases like Brian's case in the community. And we want to thank our community health workers and the staff of ACE that do the work on the ground. But more importantly, we would want to thank STARS for recognizing the work that we do and for giving us this award that is going to enable us to help many more cases like Brian's case. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Augustine. Hassan, when we came to see AET in Somaliland, I was struck by the what would be the absence of any education service for children in rural communities were it not for AET. Can you tell us how this is represented in a photo?
Thank you, Vicky. These young, beautiful girls are pastoral children. They are not looking after animals, nor are they carrying water or firewood for their mothers. They are carrying books and educational materials. This is an education that they are back from a school. They are looking after themselves. But the school they are from is not a normal school we see in towns and cities. Under the shade, they use under the shade of a tree as a classroom. They use under the ground as furniture. And their school is mobile, it moves with the nomads. This area, these children are going to school, is one of the remotest areas in Somaliland. These girls are examples of AET work helping the most disadvantaged children through innovative educational programs targeting these children. We are doing this work for the last 12 years. The award we have just received is going to benefit these children and others in the same category of needs. On behalf of AET staff members and management committee, I would like to thank sincerely STARS Foundation, not for the award we are receiving, but for their professionalism, transparency, and NGO-friendly attitudes with which they have worked with us over the long process of the project application. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hassan. Irene, One of Childline Kenya's strengths is the innovative way in which you connect children and adults to available child protection services in Kenya. Can you tell us the story behind this photo?
Yes, thank you, Vicky. The photo that is over there is of a young mother, a teenage mother, with her 23-year-old daughter, 23 months daughter, who was sexually abused by one of the boys in the neighborhood. And this mother was able to receive support from one of our partners, the Gender Violence Recovery Center, which really represents hope for thousands of children in Kenya. We have a population of 51%, which is below the age of 18. And most of these people are vulnerable and often in need of different forms of care and support. So the Gender Violence Center is one of the places where the helpline, which is a national resource for children, where we are able to refer many of our clients who have been sexually abused. They provide counseling, they provide specialized care, and we are able to support thousands of children. At the helpline, we receive about 20,000 calls, 3,000 of which are very serious cases, and were it not for the network of partners and the support we receive from the national government in form of children officers, we would not be able to accomplish our work across such a huge, huge country like Kenya. And it is therefore a really great honor that STARS Foundation has recognized the work that Childline is doing through a very difficult and weak child welfare system in our country. And we believe that through this award, we will be able to reach many more children with child protection services through SMS and chat counseling, because the mobile technology is one of the ways in which we've been able to revolutionize the way children in Kenya receive child welfare services. Thank you very much. STARS Foundation, thank you.
Thank you, Irene. Pippa, when we visited your foster homes in Cape Town, I was struck by how happy and healthy the children were, and by the amazing relationship you've developed between yourselves and your foster families. Can you tell us more about this picture?
Thank you, Vicky. This picture is at one of our typical homes in Cape Town. As you can see, it's children in a yard of their home. It's a normal home in a normal street in the suburb of the township of Khayelitsha. What the picture doesn't show you is what lies behind it. The children in the picture with the very unnormal backgrounds that they've come from, with disability, sickness, abuse, neglect, and abandonment. At Home from Home, we are aiming to give those children a chance of a childhood. At the centre of the picture, you can see Charlotte, one of our social workers. And it's thanks to Charlotte and our team of professionals and other skilled workers that we're able to offer the children all of the help that they need, including the link to very much needed psychosocial support to try and redress the balances for the injustices that have happened in the past. Thanks to getting this STARS award, the Rising Star Award, we're going to be able to increase the work that we do. So we're going to be able to build more homes, and we're going to be able to increase the area we work. One child, one home, and one community at a time. So on behalf of us all, the children and the foster mums and the staff at Home from Home, we want to say a huge thank you to STARS. Thank you.
Pippa. Thank you to all of our 2010 Africa recipients. I would now like to hand over to Zara Thune, who will introduce our awards recipients from the Asia Pacific region.
Thank you, Vicky. This is our second year in Asia, where we continue to find an incredible commitment to serving the needs of children, often in very challenging circumstances and always with real passion and innovation. This year's recipients were selected from close to 200 applicants across 12 countries. Before I invite them up to receive their award, let's take a look at their work.
Impact Foundation Bangladesh was formed in 1993 with a mission to have a Bangladeshi society free from avoidable disabilities. We work in rural areas and also the riverine areas. As you see on my back, the floating hospital, we go along the major rivers with our services. Every year we have estimated 5,000 people born with clubfoot and additional 5,000 children born with cleft lip in our country. So there's a huge demand for these two types of surgery. We work in our communities. We form a group of roughly 20 to 25 women. We call them Mothers Club. They are, educated on, their personal hygiene, on their, prevention of all kinds of disabilities, child immunization, nutrition, all these important aspects that can prevent their developing any kinds of disabilities. Another unique intervention of Impact Foundation Bangladesh is home gardening. We want them to grow vegetables all around the year, and through that we want to ensure that the children of that family and the women of that family, they don't suffer from any micronutrient deficiencies. As a result, there will be hopefully no disabled children born in those households. Also, we produce assistive devices, different kinds of prosthetic and orthotic materials. But this small investment results a huge outcome. Over the last 1 decade, we have changed lives of millions of poor people in the country through our service.
I work for an organization called Manav Seva Sansthan, and Seva is addressing cross-border human trafficking along Indo-Nepal border. The porous borders are one of the major challenges to address cross-border human trafficking, and we can estimate around 12 to 15,000 children are trafficked from Nepal to India annually. We address human trafficking using the 3P approach. It's prevention, protection, prosecution. We run lifeguard centers at cross-border transit points as well as transport hubs like railway stations and bus stations. Most of these victims are poor, so we are also initiating empowerment programs for women. We negotiated to lease out land to landless women so that they can basically be empowered economically as well as socially, and the women can safeguard the rights of the children. We also run schools for children from underprivileged community to improve the access to education.
Shopkeeper has given what? Bill!
If a child is educated, he is much more aware about his own right. Seva has been able to create a positive impact on the lives of children. We have managed to rescue 1,000 children while being trafficked. I think to address a bigger issue, you have to build partnerships at different levels to strengthen the organization, to expand its services at a wider scale.
I work with Pragya, which is a development organization that works for the people of the Himalayas, right across India and Nepal. We are working with children of the Himalayan region as well as children of migrant workers who come to work in the Himalayas. That would be about 150,000 children across both groups. But we are at present addressing only about 30% of this total population. We are running these supplementary education centers, which we call alternate learning hubs. We place them in the most remote villages. These are schools that wherever there are schools, they provide for improved quality of education, and wherever there are no schools, they provide for the only education that the children would receive. We are also, apart from the alternate learning hubs, we are running mobile education units, which are these large vans which are fitted out completely with books and learning materials and toys and even a computer. The difference about the mobile education unit is that they take the school to the children rather than expecting the children to come to the school. This really delivers education to the children of the migrant workers who are so far from any habitation or any kind of education facility that they cannot really dream of education. When I see a little child who works till 4 in the evening breaking stones by the roadside, but who spends 2 hours in classes which are delivered through a mobile education van, and says that, because of this, I would be able to have a life where I will become a computer engineer, is, I think, a dream that I would definitely like to support and like to help him achieve.
I would like to welcome Mr. Mohammed Jazeel back to the stage for the presentation of the awards. The 2010 Impact Award for Health goes to Impact Foundation Bangladesh. On behalf of the organisation, we welcome Hasib Mahmood. The 2010 Impact Award for Protection goes to Manav Seva Sansthan in India. On behalf of the organisation, we welcome Rakesh Nair. The 2010 Impact Award for Education goes to Pragya in India. On behalf of the organisation, we welcome Gargi Banerjee. Thank you, Mohammed Jazeel. And now for their photos. Hasib, I was with you when the photo of this beautiful baby was taken. Like many others in Bangladesh, this young child was born with cleft lip. Can you tell us a little bit more about this photograph?
Here is Saima, only 6 months old. Unfortunately, she was born with a congenital physical impairment called cleft lip. In Bangladesh, there are approximately 5,000 children are born every year with this physical impairment. Apart from the physical consequences, there are some serious social consequences to these diseases, like they faces all the social discrimination, social stigmatization, denial, abuse, etc. But here, Saima is very lucky. She is very fortunate that her parents got the right message from the Impact Foundation Bangladesh health workers, and they brought their only daughter to Impact Hospital for treatment. And the very next day, she was successfully operated by a group of plastic surgeons in Impact Foundation hospitals. Now, Saima got back a completely normal look, and most importantly, she is absolutely free from all kinds of discrimination, denial, and abuse. Today is a great moment for me, as well as for my organization, Impact Foundation Bangladesh. On behalf of all my colleagues, the trustee board members, and the volunteers, and all our supporters, I would like to thank STARS Foundation for their generous support and selecting us as one of the award winners of 2010 Stars Impact Award. And we want to assure that, this award would help us, would enable us to reach out more children who are in need with this kind of disabilities. Thank you, Stars. Thank you all again, and look forward to work with you in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Hasib. Rakesh, I remember being very impressed with the level of education the girls in the residential care home received from you. Can you tell us a little bit more about this photograph?
This is the children we are working with to protect them from being trafficked. And education is one of the strategies we are using to break the cycle of human trafficking. SEVA is the only organization which is working in cross-border transit point along Indo-Nepal border, which is one of the longest as well as poorest border in the world. After drugs and arms, human trafficking is the biggest profit-making industry in the world. But yet, the resources we get to deal with human trafficking is only meager. And this is why the support from Star Foundation is so crucial for our campaign. And I take this opportunity to dedicate this award to those young victims who are trafficked survivors. They are the heroes. Thank you.
Thank you, Kash. Gargi, this photo depicts the remoteness I felt when I was up in the Himalayas with the children of this migrant camp. Can you tell us a little bit about why this photograph so clearly expresses the work that Pragya does?
Thank you, Zara. Pragya works in the high-altitude Himalayas, which is an incredibly difficult region and amongst the most remote in the entire world. It's above 8,000 feet in altitude, has a very severe climate, up to about minus 40 degrees in winter, completely snowbound for about 4 months in a year, and very, very low on basic infrastructure. The people that inhabit this region have a very difficult life in poverty, adversity, and without schools, without hospitals, without much of the basic amenities that most of us are so accustomed to. The migrant labor that works on building roads and on dams in this region are even more disadvantaged. They live an almost subhuman existence, a shadow population. Pragya tries to deliver these missing services of education and health to these disadvantaged people. What you see here in this image is one migrant labor shanty at about 9,000 feet in the Himalayas, very far from the nearest habitation. Pragya runs a tented creche, which has about 18 very young children who are provided early childhood care and education. Down on the road below, you see the mobile school that comes to deliver primary education to about 22 children who do not otherwise have any access to schools. This is one among about 205 communities and villages that are served by Pragya through its education program. This is across 16 districts in India and Nepal. I would like to thank Stars Foundation for enabling us to continue this good work, and of course, for recognizing the work that we are doing in very, very difficult regions. Thank you.
Thank you, Gargi. Thank you. And thank you to all of the 2010 award recipients. I would now like to hand back to Muna for a few final words.
So we've recently launched the 2011 Impact Awards, our 5th year. Our closing date for applications is the 7th of December, so there are still a few days left for you to help us spread the word to eligible organisations. If you know any amazing organisations like these, that's what we're looking for, please. We are, as ever, about to serve drinks and canapes downstairs, which I really hope you can stay with us to enjoy. Please do take the opportunity to speak to our award recipients, because they say more about Stars than I ever can. Before we wrap up, however, I would like to thank our founding donor, the Dabar Group, who enables us to continue doing all the work that we do. We are very, very grateful. We are also very grateful to the volunteers of our independent awards panel, some of whom are with us this evening, our trustees, who are also here with us this evening, our team, who are dedicated and fantastic, as you have just seen, and our patron, of course, Her Majesty Queen Rania Al Abdullah, who unfortunately could not be with us tonight. Last but by no means least, I would like to thank all of our award recipients who have travelled such huge distances to be with us this evening. Tonight is a celebration of all of their achievements, and it is a celebration of the children whose lives have been touched so positively by the work that you do. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.